Manny's going to fix his technical difficulties, and he's a developer, so we know he's going to be able to figure that out. In the meantime, Heather is going to talk about creators and how they can leverage Nostr to build a following in a permissionless and open way. She's been doing so for, I don't know, a year or so, doing yoga classes on Hive Talk. So, Heather, here you go.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for being out here. Order of the day, Nostr for content creators. This is one aspect of Nostr, and I'm also happy to have my friend Arkanox in the audience with fanfares.io, which we'll get to in just a moment. There are a ton of apps for content creators on Nostr already. So there are many different ways to share your content. And this is going to be, you know, as Derek mentioned, the aspect of me being able to teach yoga live on Nostr is one good thing. You can teach languages. Whatever you do to put out content, you're probably already used to a bunch of things that, you know, are big tech, and they're going to have you locked in, right? So if you want to make money online with your content, whatever you have to offer, whether it's a yoga class or like Dan does, the bread and toast comic strips, right? You know, you got to find a way to make money and monetize. And for a lot of people, that's going to be join my Patreon, subscribe to my Substack. And then you're also grandfathered into a payment system that's going to be built on Stripe, which Arkanox and I love Stripe very much. We don't. In my experience, the more money I make on Stripe, the more it takes, right? So I want to actually keep the money I earn. And so these are the things they're kind of built into Nostr. This is how we kind of fix some of the big tech problems. So we're going to move into a little more discussion here about the future. What is it, folks? Free and open source. And so one of the things that's, you know, kind of encouraging, I think, is that the content creator economy, and I have a bunch of social media things, which we're going to, you know, mention these legacy platforms that most people are probably using right now to market their content, find an audience, build a community. You know, this is an industry now with a value of more than $250 billion. People are making money doing this, and it's projected to reach $480 billion in the next couple of years. So actually, by the time we look at these statistics, we're about a year out from this becoming a $480 billion way to make money. And for a lot of people, this can be their main income, obviously. This could be a side hustle. So the cool thing is you don't actually need a big follow count on these legacy platforms, right? Full-time content creators have an average of 4 platforms. Only less than half of them are creating revenue for folks. You know, we're talking about people like Ainsley Costello, who's in the audience, who does music. People who are running their content business full-time as their full-time job, they've got an average of only 4,000 followers across all of their legacy platforms, the aforementioned platforms. I totaled up all of my followers on my platforms. In total, I have about 6,000 people following me between all of my platforms, including Nostr. So you don't need to amass 1 million followers anymore. You don't need to go viral anymore. It's also not possible to go viral, especially if you're on these legacy platforms. Most content creators, we're talking 98%, earn their money through a variety of ways. Affiliate deals, affiliate commissions, and then 77% are relying on brand deals. So we're talking about influencers. We're talking about endorsements here. And half of them are earning $5,000 annually. So this is what the majority can expect to earn when they're making content online. Some people can make, you know, 30 grand, maybe even $100,000. So when we're talking about $100,000 annual earnings, we're talking about the true fans model. And that's where somebody like Ainsley, I'm going to pick on Ainsley a lot today because she's good for it. You know, say you have 100 fans or 1,000 fans, because this is 1,000 true fans model. You have 1,000 fans. Each one of them is going to pay you $100 a year because you're providing them with $100 of value. Maybe in Ainsley's case, that could be concert tickets. That could be an album release, as we were seeing Joe Martin do on Geyser.fund, where he's funding his album recording by using Geyser.fund, which is a Nostr and Bitcoin app, where it's kind of like the Kickstarter answer. to doing this. It's like if I want a Kickstarter but make it Bitcoin and make it Nostr, I've got Geyser.fund. So let's say Ainsley gives me, her fan, $100 of value a year. This could be a six-figure income for her annually. And the reason why she would want to do this on Nostr is because Nostr is censorship resistant. She can't be deplatformed. She's not building on somebody else's backyard. And that money goes directly to her. There's no Stripe taking the cut. Because if I make $100,000 a year on Stripe, Stripe's going to take at least a third of that. It's going to take a very handsome, large number away from me. So here are the issues. If you're a content creator on the legacy platforms, we already know organic reach is gone. It's extremely tough to get organic reach at all, to grow your follower count at all, and find yourself an audience and make sure that you play the algorithm game so that you get that organic reach. You're probably going to have to pay for reach. And part of paying for reach is going to be paying for verification, paying for Twitter Premium, paying the $40 a month, whatever it is for LinkedIn. So it's pay to play now. So organic reach is gone. Monetization, again, I'm going to have to pay to monetize on Twitter. If I want to monetize on YouTube, I have to reach their certain goalposts that they're constantly pushing out further and further. So this is just going to be impossible. And then the next problem is credibility with the legacy platforms. I got to pay to verify. I got to give my ID. I got to lose money to monetize. And then I'm going to be worried about fake engagement. We all get followed by bots. We don't know if they're even humans following us and interacting with us and giving us, hate comments and whatnot. And then a lot of people, they distrust in the age of AI. Okay, so yes, there are bots. And then is Heather making her own content? Or is she plagiarizing through AI, right? So there's a credibility and trust problem when it comes to creating content online. So Nostr comes in. Nostr being an open source protocol, and I don't want to get into the weeds and get too nerdy with it, but with Nostr, you can't just build social media apps. You can build everything. The possibilities are now open. But organic reach returns because there are no algorithms to stamp you down. So you can literally, I know or have met most of you in this room through Nostr. I've met you on Nostr. I've met you in real life and been able to make relationships here and build in a way that I can't on Twitter, because the odds are already against me on Twitter of being able to get to know people on a one-to-one basis. Nostr being a reverse chronological timeline, the way that Twitter was in 2006, brings this back. There's nothing to game. The cream of the crop will rise to the top. Some of that is going to happen with zaps, which is like a tip for your content. Some of that is just different apps are going to have a different, not so much an algorithm, but a way of presenting the content. So we're back to the way the internet was meant to be. We're back to the way we wanted it to be in about 2006, 2007 with Twitter. And now monetization is baked in with zaps. We don't have to sign up for Stripe. We don't have to go. Have you ever had anybody have to do this where you sign up for Stripe and you go through the process? You ever fuck it up? Oh my God. I have done this so many times. Had to call text. Like Stripe is a hot mess. Okay, so once you jump through all of those hoops and then they take your money, right? It's a terrible experience. But now with Nostr, Nostr has your monetization baked in with zaps, which is Bitcoin micropayments, right? So that problem is solved. And then credibility is improved, which I know somebody here is going to talk more in depth about Web of Trust, which, is both good and bad. I'm going to lean on the good side for Web of Trust. But because of the way Nostr works, and without me getting into the technical weeds, your identity is something that you own. It's proven by a key pair, and that's the technical part that I won't get into. But now your credibility is improved. We know who you are. You can be anonymous, you can have a NIM, you can have a fake picture and a fake name, but still this is being signed by you, your identity on Nostr. We know it's you. If you have other credibility problems other than that, they're not going to be solved by, Nostr's not going to ask for your ID. Okay, so Nostr's not going to charge you to make money. It's just direct peer-to-peer payments from the get-go. You don't have to get past a goalpost that YouTube's going to move for you anyway. You can just open a Nostr account right now, post something, @reply me. Okay, so like mark my name on your first post, Heather Larson. I'll zap you. It's that easy. You just have to set up a wallet, which might take a minute, but you can immediately get on Nostr, earn money, and not have anybody take a cut from day one. So right there, that solves like most of the majority of problems that content creators have. So when Derek mentioned that I teach yoga on Nostr, I do this on Hive Talk. Hive Talk is a Nostr app. This is like the Nostr version of Zoom. So it's free to use. Like get on hivetalk.org, decide, invite people to your whatever you're going to do. You could do what I do. You could teach yoga. You could teach software development. You could teach languages because you can share your screen. It's just like Zoom, but open source. And it's free to use, right? So you can see here, this is going to be your Russian language classes or your English to Russian classes. This is one of our yoga classes. I think you'll see at least one of these people is in the audience over there. He made the presentation. Well, my best yoga students, Dan, right? So, and the best part of this, I'm in Phoenix. He's out here in PA. We're doing yoga, Monday nights. And actually, I had to give up the yoga class. And I had to give it up to my friend Anna, who also lives in Arizona, but far away from me. And Anna teaches this original class. Now, this is Anna right here, Anna and Dave. And we have Noshul, and we have Rupert. And so Anna took my class over, which was, to me, the most amazing thing, that I could create enough community on Nostr. One, the class will keep going if I step away. And two, somebody else would take over the class, and then Dan and other folks keep showing up to the class, because this is what we can create on Nostr, which is an uphill battle on the more traditional legacy platforms. But this is for everyone. Okay, it's not just for yoga teachers. It's not just for writers, bloggers, musicians. Whatever you do, you can put it on Nostr and start to build your audience. This man, Matthias McIntyre, he did this. He went nuts. He grew a following of around 400 people in the first 4 weeks because he would get on Nostr every day and he would post his music. Him playing music, talking to the camera maybe on occasion, but mostly just posting his music every day. He did that for, 4 weeks, amassed a bunch of followers. He still does it. Anna, she is taking over my original yoga class I started more than a year ago. She's teaching yoga on Hive Talk. And then we have Mike Monty to prove that you can do anything on Nostr. This guy's doing yo-yo tricks. Okay, he's sharing his expertise with the world, which is yo-yo tricks, and we're super entertained by this. But if you want to know everything about yo-yoing, you can get on here and you can learn from him or just watch his tricks. So whatever you're doing, you could show how to repair a car and change oil. This could be the new YouTube someday. I mean, obviously, it's not even close. But there's no limits to what you can do. So I want to share a couple different apps. There's Show on the left. That is still in development, and that's going to be kind of like your vertical video, your kind of TikTok clone, if you will. Here's a screenshot of it. As you can see in the feed, this is a lot like Twitter. And so you can see Matthias. He's got his posting of his music here. You can just get on there and enjoy music. Alex is posting about the seasons and his philosophy there. This app right here is Yakihone. Yakihone, nobody knows how to pronounce it. This is a great app for blogging long-form content, because here's the thing about Nostr. It's flexible. It's interoperable. You can write a long blog post in just this app, or you could get into a different app. Just same sign-in for both apps. And you can write your long-form programming right here. And this is what it looks like in the feed if it's just notes, which is like a tweet. But also, like, you can subscribe and see longer things that people are posting, like Namishka. This guy posts the weekly Nostr recap every week. It's fantastic. You should follow Namishka because he will keep you in the know about Nostr. His thing is so long, and if you see it in Yakihone, it's going to look one way. It's going to look great. If you see it in Primal, it's going to look another way, and it's also going to look great. And then this is what zaps look like in Damus, which is one of the apps that I use. You can see, like, I wrote dads are the most, and somebody zapped me 13 sats for that. So a shout out to Wedge Social for doing that. I did a Stacker News AMA, posted about it. Somebody, a couple people, Daniel and Diego, zapped it, made 222 sats off of that. So this is what a day on Nostr looks like. Micropayments, 42 sats, 21 sats, 13 sats, 222 sats. It adds up. Here's some more apps for you guys. Fountain, okay? Ainsley, her music is on Fountain. and you can see the fountain feed there. Derek and I have a podcast, Soapbox Sessions. Okay, this is what it looks like when it gets zapped. You can see one of our biggest supporters is some guy named Open Mike. So you can see how many sats people are given to podcasts. Ainsley on Wavelake. Okay, so her music is both on Wavelake and Fountain. She can get zapped for her music in both. We have her on Cash App too, or no, what is it? Tidal. I can pay her now with US dollars in Cash App because she's got music on Tidal. So it's the same principle. There's no Bitcoin involved on Tidal. But check this out. You know, this is somebody who's traditionally put her music on Apple Music, Spotify, made nothing. But then this song here, I know this is probably too small for most people to see in the audience, but we're up to 1.3 million sats for Cherry on Top. So when she mentioned that last night, if you were at the brewery with us, and she said, this is the million sat song, that is what that means. This is the amount of money she's made for these songs. And then here's a look at zaps on Wavelake. And this is just the feed of people sending 63 sats, 21 sats. You know, it doesn't have to be a large amount of money. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of following either. And then you're next, right? We need more people in this ecosystem to make it thrive. So here's Sarah Jade performing in Phoenix, making $750 at the time. Playing her original music in 30 minutes, and you can get started today from teaching yoga to rocking the house at Antone's in Austin on Tunster.io, making money. Nostr is for content creators. Find an audience, be free, don't be pinned down by all the other things. And one more thing, I vibe coded with Shakespeare from Soapbox. Vibe coded this website with Shakespeare. So you can find all the information you want about creating content and see all of the apps from fanfares.io to tunster.io to all the apps I mentioned in the presentation. You can scan that and you'll get to my vibe-coded Nostr for Content Creators website, which I probably have to add to because we're constantly having more apps come in. So that's my super fast Nostr for Content Creators presentation. If you need the link, just let me know and I'll get it to you. I'll put it on my Nostr account and also my Twitter account for you. So let me know if you need the resources. We're always here to help. Everybody who's an ostrich is here to help, especially Nostr CEO, Derek Ross. Thanks, guys.